your Batman stopper there.
How has Comic-Con been?
It's been great. I've been here since 9 o'clock this morning.
Oh.
It has been a quick Comic-Con this year.
Are you going to at least walk around a little bit?
Not this year, probably, no. I've been on the con circuit with Fan Expo for a while now, so we were just in Denver, Dallas, Chicago, a couple places before then. So it's I love walking the floor because I'm a big nerd. So I like to walk around and check out all the artwork and all my Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And, very happy, very happy.
You can go to check out that exhibit that's over there, that interactive tablet.
Is it?
Yeah, really cool.
Did my Critical Role friends go through that?
I don't know, but they probably, hopefully.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
Fan of
Christy always asks me why I carry a D20. I'm like, why don't you? You should always be armed. What are you doing?
So do you have it now?
Of course. Do I have my D20? Of course I have my D20.
Oh my god.
11, not bad.
Perfect.
This is how I decide during our live podcast which side goes first. So yeah, of course, we're nerds. So it's one way to decide, and that's with a D20. So we made our big announcement today for the podcast, and that was really exciting. So we're just super stoked for today. We really are.
So for people who haven't listened to the podcast yet, can you talk a little bit about it?
Sure. It's called I Hear Voices, and we interview voiceover actors and get their stories. But the most fun is we bring in an amateur voiceover actor, and we write a little scene, and they get to work with the professionals, and they get a chance to act it out. And we're going to take those scenes and have them animated, and then they get to be in their own cartoon. But the announcement we made today, which is amazing, is we have partnered with iHeart, and we are now conducting a nationwide search to find the next big voiceover actor. And the winner, well, there's going to be a number of prizes, but they're going to be flown to Los Angeles, and they're going to sign with my voiceover agency, CESD. And for 1 year, they're going to have professional representation, and they get to try their hand at being a professional voiceover actor.
That's so cool.
So, yep, we're going to have hopefully a whole bunch of submissions of people that want to come in and do fun voices. So it's going to be great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So since the start of the podcast, recently there's been more recognition for voice actors, voice directors, and everyone in the industry. What has it been like finally getting that recognition, the same recognition as people in TV and movies?
I think it's phenomenal. I can't wait till the recognition actually then bleeds over to voiceover actors getting the big roles in voiceover films.
Yes.
Because I love, and I'm not bashing on-camera actors in any way, shape, or form. I was one for a long time, but it's one of those things where on-camera actors should absolutely try voiceover because it's a ton of fun. But I also think that they should say, hey, I'll come and do your movie, but I want 75% of this movie to be voiceover actors because that's what they do, and we're all actors, and I want to give them a shot as opposed to we need every celebrity to be in this live action and this big animated film, and we don't get to use any actual voiceover actors who are out there in the trenches every day working their butts off. So that's when I know the credit will get there, when it doesn't say, hey, big new movie and big giant star as the lead, when it says just big new movie, and then you go, oh, Fred Tatasciore was the star this week. That'll be amazing. But the pandemic really exploded animation, anime especially. So there have been some great strides and all that stuff, and we see it at the conventions. You see when there's a live action actor with a nice line, and then an anime actor, and the line is 6 hours long. So it's I was with Kevin Conroy in Wales, and I'm sitting next to Batman, my Batman, and he had like a 7-hour line in another country as a voice actor, and it was the greatest thing in the world to see. So when we all get to that point, when we're all just actors, and it's like, hey, we'd like to try some live action stuff, you should try some voiceover stuff, but that's what you do and this is what we do, then I'll be happy.
So since the start of your podcast, what was your reaction to the fans' excitement for it, especially people who, like myself, grew up with Kim Possible?
We were ecstatic. It was one of those things where just Christy and I were doing this, so we didn't have anybody behind us. We didn't sell a single ad, like literally the entire time. It was just us doing this podcast for fun. And so when we started to see it grow and started to see the numbers grow, and then getting involved with iHeart, now knowing where it's going to go, especially when we announced the nationwide contest, this is the coolest thing in the world. I love it, and I love the idea that the whole we're hopefully going to end with a big live show at the iHeart Theater where we're going to crown the winner, and we know the audience is going to be filled with all our voiceover actor friends. So we just can't wait. This is just taking it to the next level, and the fact that the fans are loving it, and now they're really going to have a platform to enter and join us and see what they can do. I'm pretty excited.
That's amazing, Bill.
Did you want to be a voiceover actor?
No. I like being behind the scenes.
Okay, fair enough. I always like to ask, like, is anyone like, I wanted to be one, like, you better enter.
Low-key, yes, I do.
Okay, well then come and put your reel together and come enter, because it's going to be great. You won't have to with this one. Maybe just put yourself on tape. We're figuring out all the good stuff. But go to its I Hear Voices podcast on Instagram, and that'll take you to voices@iheart.com, and you'll be able to enter and do all that kind of stuff. So
Okay, cool, thanks.
I love it.
So I have to ask, how would Ron do in an interview such as this, where they have to interview him talking about some of his adventures?
Oh, I think he'd be great.
I think he'd sit there and first he'd be very introspective and go, okay, it's mostly KP doing stuff, but I like to be there for support, booyah, because everybody needs that. And Rufus usually does some pretty heavy work, lifting, that kind of stuff too, but it's all about the fan sport, that's what you need.
Absolutely.
He'd love to be talked to. Are you kidding? Come on. Ron could talk all day.
I have another question.
Yeah.
It just escaped me. Oh boy.
You could just make one up. I would never know.
Right, come back to me.
Still kind of on, a lot of us grew up with Kim Possible. If we made a show, Kim Possible, but as adults.
Okay.
What kind of themes would be talked about? What do you think Ron Stoppable would do as an adult?
Well, that's the question is, everybody asked me what I think Ron would be doing. And the only thing that kept coming to my mind is I think they'd still be fighting crime, of course. I think they'd be married. I think they'd have kids. I think he'd be a veterinarian.
Really?
I don't know why. I think he would be helping animals. Yeah, I think he would be doing something helping animals. So, yes, and I think the themes would be, it would be a balance between having to fight crime and raise the kids. So that would be the theme. Like, do we take the kids with us? We can't, the babysitter can't come, and now we got to go to Uruguay, so what's the plan? Yeah, I think it would be stuff like that, which would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think he'd do something with animals.
That'd be awesome. Not own a Nacho Empire?
No, I don't think so. I think once he hit 30, he could have a nacho once a month, but that is it. Too much Diablo sauce.
Dr. Seuss, hold back on the cholesterol.
Exactly.
My questions finally came back to me.
Okay.
Okay, so in the series, some fans have speculated like who was friend zoning who. Was Ron friend zoning Kim, or was Kim friend zoning Ron? What's your opinion?
I honestly think it changed. I think at first Kim was friend zoning Ron, and then I think a little bit later Ron was kind of friend zoning Kim a little bit, and then they both looked at each other and were like, "No, this is where it's supposed to be." I mean, my opinion, you always want to start with friend zone. That's not an irrevocable place, and it's the place where you build the relationship, and then you take it to the next level. That's the point. You want to have that foundation, because that's what you want.
I do have one question.
Okay.
So my sister's in high school. That's good. And she is interested in doing voice acting. So like, what kind of advice do you suggest, like post high school, to pursue that?
There is a show called I Hear Voices. And you can join and become, first of all, study acting. Just study acting while working on your voices. And so, okay, you asked a great question, like what did you learn from some of the other people? So, one person we were talking to was Miley Flanagan, who was the voice of Naruto. So, she said, I listen to everybody that I meet, and anybody whose voice pops out of my head, I try to do. So you take, it's like, and then all of a sudden she'll go like, yeah, man, what's going on? Well, this is my person at my bank. Like my bank, hey, how much money do you want to take out of your bank? She's like, and then I'll go to the gas station, and the guy behind the gas station will talk very slowly. Like, she's like, every single person has a different voice. So listen to the people around you, and then try to translate that into a different voice that you would do. You do it in the mirror, however you want to do it. But acting, study acting. That's the most important thing. The voices will come, because that's just an instrument. I mean, you can make different sounds with a trumpet, but if you don't first learn to play the trumpet, they're just sounds. So you got to learn to act first, and then go from there. And then there's a show called I Hear Voices. And you can enter and maybe become the next big star. That's easy.
I've been working with Christy after a long time.
She's not my favorite. She's kind of mean, steals things. She wore the same sweater I was supposed to wear today. I'm just, oh jeez. I can't beat that. Again, she's the worst. So that's what we deal with. No, it's been great. I mean, we've known each other over 20 years now. So to continue that, not just friendship but working relationship is pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, it's been all right.
It's a family-friendly podcast.
It is.
No.
It's family friendly with most of our guests. Some of the guests come on and like beep 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 beep.
I was listening to the one with Jason Marsden this morning, and you literally were like, "It's a family friendly, don't talk about." And then 2 seconds later, they're like, "I called you a prick."
Yeah, that is my best friend there. Isn't that nice? My best friend since I was 17 years old. That guy. He's another one that's not a good person. He's alright. He's alright.
Your wife called, says, "Can't remember that." The
My wife is sitting right there. She didn't call me. She's 5 feet away.
He always knows when I lie.
You can literally see her. All right. Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
If you like that video, make sure to like and subscribe.
Subscribe to our Patreon where you get our reactions a week early, uncut before it goes to YouTube.
You can book us on Cameo, where you can make Hannah sing Happy Birthday.
I will not be singing Happy Birthday.
You can ask us to say hello, a small reaction request, or make Hannah sing Happy Birthday.
Our merch store is now up with brand new designs coming, as well as our old designs brought to you by my Manic Episodes. Thank you for that.
Make sure to check out our OnlyFans.
Oh my god! Subscribe to our OnlyFans for a different side of fandom reactions.
And be sure to follow our Twitter and Instagram @FandomReactGirls for daily updates.